Dancer was the pace setter in the Hopeful Stakes. He did tire that day, tired once more this past weekend. But actually ran a fairly solid race. He and Ecstatic went out early in the going. Ecstatic was joined on the outside by Ibn al-Haytham, and there was some bumping. Roman Dancer was the third to cross the finish line, but he was disqualified after interfering with Ecstatic. It appeared that he moved out and bumped Ecstatic, causing him to lose his gait just a little bit. Roman Dancer was DQ'd, and Ecstatic, the second choice in the wagering here, was pushed up to the third spot. The winner, Essence of Dubai, is a 2-year-old dark bay or brown son of Pulpit from Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Epitome by Summing. Bred in Kentucky by the John Abell Farm, he was a $1 million purchase by his owners, the Godolphin Racing operation, trained by Owen Hardy. Interestingly enough, this is the first graded stakes race won by one of the Godolphin 2-year-olds that have been here in the United States. Last year they had Street Cry, who managed to be regarded as one of the best 2-year-olds in training here in the United States without ever having won a graded stakes race. Essence of Dubai has done what his older stablemate had not been able to do. Ibn al-Haytham, a maiden also from the Godolphin operation, running second in here in a very nice effort after being carried wide on the turn. Essence of Dubai is a very impressive looking horse. I wouldn't be surprised to see him turn up next in the Breeders' Cup. Owen Hardy did indicate that that would likely be his next stop. Rider Alex Solis expected to join him at Belmont Park that day. Essence of Dubai completes the 1 mile of the Norfolk in 1:37 flat. Older fillies and mares on the docket next in the Yellow Ribbon, a Grade 1 $500,000 event, 3-year-olds and up, going 1.25 miles. Heavy favorite in here, Tranquility Lake. Let's head out to California for the call of the Yellow Ribbon.
Feel for the Yellow Ribbon sent on their way. They all came out smoothly. Tranquility Lake is fast into stride. Nepenthe and the white blinkers on the outside at the rail. Minor Details is showing speed. In just behind them, Aldecima in the white cap, and Bucharest is the grey, pulling pretty hard on the outside of that. Then we come back to Cala Tiara, the Seven Seas, and Janet is the early trailer. Through the stretch first time round, and Tranquility Lake out where she likes to be, showing the way a half a length. Minor Details second. On the outside, Nepenthe is now going up to make them 3 almost in a line. Aldecima races in 4th, Bucharest is 5th. Then we come back to Cala Tiara, making ground down at the rail, 5 off the leaders. The Seven Seas is second last, and Janet is 10 lengths off them. They went quickly for a race of this distance, 3/4 of a mile to go, and Tranquility Lake now going clear by a length, being tracked by Minor Details. On the outside is Nepenthe, having to be ridden along a little as Nepenthe, but still right there. A gap of 3.5 back to Aldecima. They've been followed by Cala Tiara in the 5th spot. Bucharest the Grey is 6 lengths off the leaders. Then comes the Seven Seas, and Janet has 9 to make up. They make their way to the half mile in the Yellow Ribbon, and it's still Tranquility Lake the leader. In second, Minor Details. Nepenthe is third, but they're closing in now. Aldecima a closer 4th. Then Cala Tiara 5th. There goes Janet with a run on the outside, and the Seven Seas at the rail. Can the Seven Seas find a way through? Janet has got growth the way through, although wide. The Seven Seas nowhere to go but saving ground. At the top of the lane, Tranquility Lake going to be tackled by Janet. Then Aldecima, the Seven Seas now going to be hooked to the outside, but it's Janet who strikes the front with 1/8 of a mile to go, and Janet is going better than Tranquility Lake. Aldecima, the Seven Seas did not go on, and it's Janet and David Flores in full flight for the wire in the Yellow Ribbon, and it's going to be Janet and David Flores winning at 1.25 to Tranquility Lake, Aldecima and Bucharest.
A little bit of an upset here as Tranquility Lake goes down to defeat at the hands of Janet, who interestingly enough had beaten her in the past. Janet came to the East Coast to try a turf race that was taken off the turf. They ran her in the mud. She did not run very well, went back to the West Coast and beat Tranquility Lake earlier this summer. Following that, they brought her back to the East Coast, tried the Diana Handicap, could not handle Starine. They went back to the Yellow Ribbon and once again beat Tranquility Lake. Maybe they need to fly Janet 6 or 7 hours across the country in order for her to continue to beat Tranquility Lake, but here she's able to pass her by a length at the wire. Tranquility Lake, the pace setter, does hold on for second with Aldecima at 20-1, the second longest shot on the board, rallying into the 3rd spot after being kind of aggressive in the early going with Kent de Sormeau. The winner, Janet, a 4-year-old bay daughter of Emperor Jones from Bid Dancer by Spectacular Bid, was bred in Great Britain by the Ferris Stables, owned by Red Baron's Barn and trained by Daryl Vienna, ridden to victory by David Flores. The 1.25 miles of the yellow ribbon goes to, or won by Janet in 1:58.3. More stakes racing action on Sunday at the Oak Tree meeting at Santa Anita, beginning with the Clement L. Hirsch Memorial Turf Championship, a Grade 1 $300,000 event going long on the turf for the older horses. Let's head back out to Santa Anita for the call of the Clement Hirsch Memorial.
For today's Clement L. Hirsch Memorial, gates closed, all set. Fields sent on their way. They all came away smoothly. Kudos won from the inside. White Heart down at the rail. Penamacore racing a little wide out, but Penamacore going up to join the leaders. El Bueno's racing in just behind them, and then it's Cagney and Seigneur is at the back. Into the stretch first time round, and Penamacore now going clear to lead them by 2-3 lengths now as Penamacore opening up on them. Kudos is in second, and White Heart down at the rail. Alongside of that comes El Bueno. In behind that is Seigneur, really fighting against the rider as Seigneur got his head held high. He wants to go on with it. Cagney is the early trailer. Under the wire first time round, and Lafitte Pink Eye and Penamacore, and they winging now. Penamacore is opening up 8 lengths as they go into the turn. Kudos is in second. White Heart content to sit there in the third spot. El Bueno is in the white cap on the outside. Now Seigneur is a little more relaxed. He's on the inside in the white sleeves, and at the back comes Cagney. There's only about 4 lengths separating the rest of the field, but meanwhile Penamacore is just dragging Lafitte Pink Eye out of the irons out here, and Penamacore is now opened up 10 lengths as they go on to the backstretch. Still Kudos in the second spot, and Kudos decided to pick up the pace now and go after that leader. White Heart is in third. On the outside, El Bueno. Then comes Seigneur on the inside. Those 4 now all going after that leader. Cagney is still quite content to trail by 3.5. They race into the far turn in the Clement L. Hirsch, and it's still Penamacore winging out here. Penamacore's still 10, 11 lengths clear. Kudos is in second. White Heart on the outside. Seigneur is back in fourth. El Bueno's on the outside, and Cagney is coming flying now. Cagney from last, but running on gamely. Can they catch Penamacore? Homeward bound, and Penamacore by 7 lengths still. In the second spot, White Heart, Seigneur in the center, then Cagney. Kudos down at the rail. Penamacore by 4, they coming fast. Penamacore's breathing fire, he can find no more. White Heart and Seigneur. White Heart, Seigneur, Cagney. It's going to be Seigneur. Seigneur in a thriller over White Heart.
Seigneur, who has been an absolute monster on the turf, got the win earlier this year in the United Nations Handicap over With Anticipation on the DQ of that rival. Here gets a nice head win, honestly showing his guts. This horse does run well. When he is in a close one, he usually does not give up, this time over one of his main rivals, White Heart. Cagney completes the order of the top 3 with an off-the-pace run. Seigneur did show a little bit of a rough beginning here. He was rank, gave Alex Solis a little bit of trouble in the early going, did come wide in the stretch, and just got up for the victory. The winner, Seigneur, a dark bay or brown 5-year-old son of Nureyev from Dice by Diocese, bred in Kentucky by Juddmonte Farm, owned by Juddmonte Farm, and trained by Bobby Frankel. Seigneur completes the 1.25 miles on the firm turf course in 1:59.2. 2-year-old fillies are featured next in the Oakleaf Stake, a Grade 1 $250,000 event going 1 mile. Unfortunately, this race too was marred by a scratch, that of Habibti, the 2-year-old filly who had risen to prominence with a victory in her last start at Del Mar. Unfortunately, she came up with a little bit of a fever on the morning of the race, causing Bob Baffert to have to scratch, leaving a wide open field to go in the Oakleaf. Let's head back out to California once more in Trevor's call of the Grade 1 Oakleaf.
Field for the Oakleaf Stakes sent on their way, and White Wine Sipper got a flyer and goes to the lead. On the outside, Ayana quickly taking over though, and Tally's Lucky Bus Ride going through at the rail. Those are the 3 early leaders. Miss Louisette has no alternative but to go wide. Then it's Roaring Blaze, and Imperial Gesture is down at the rail. 5 lengths would cover them all. They run to the 3/4 pole, and Ayana going to make her own pace. It's a fast one too. Ayana sprints away to lead by 3. White Wine Sipper in the pink colours. Down at the rail is Tally's Lucky Bus Ride. They've been followed by Miss Louisette, who's in 4th, 5 off this leader. It's another 2 lengths back to Imperial Gesture second last, and Roaring Blaze brings up the rear. 10 lengths would cover them all. They head to the half-mile pole in the Oakleaf, and it's Garrett Gomez and Ayana dictating the pace throughout here. They clear by 3.5. Then come back to Tally's Lucky Bus Ride in second. White Wine Sipper is third. Miss Louisette on the outside of that. Imperial Gestures second last. 9 lengths off the leaders, and Roaring Blaze is last. Past the 3/8 they go, and Ayana's the leader, but now here comes Tally's Lucky Bus Ride, and Tally's Lucky Bus Ride running strongly now. Tally's Lucky Bus Ride takes the lead and kicks on. Ayana's shortened stride in second. Miss Louisette is in third. Then we come back to Imperial Gesture making headway, but 7 off them. Top of the lane, and it's Tally's Lucky Bus Ride clear by 4 lengths. Imperial Gesture coming with a late run in the centre, but it's still Tally's Lucky Bus Ride clear by 6 in the Oakleaf. Tally's Lucky Bus Ride and Jose Valdivia, runaway winners of the Oakleaf. They win by 5 in the end. Imperial Gesture second, then came Miss Louisette, Roaring.
This one definitely a big upset out in California, the biggest upset of the week, I am sure. Tally's Lucky Bus Ride showing very good speed, saving ground under Jose Valdivia, and picking up a 4.5 length win is the far longest shot on the board in here, 15-1 over the favorite Imperial Gesture. Imperial Gesture had broken her maiden in Saratoga last time out, ran very solidly here closing, but was clearly second best. Miss Louisette finishing in the 3rd spot after getting off to a little bit of a sluggish start. Tally's Lucky Bus Ride is now 2 for 2. She is a Washington State-bred filly, daughter of Delineator from Springhurst by Lord at War, was bred by Dr. Michael Conosceni in Washington State, owned by Ron and Susie Anderson, who pick up their first Grade 1 stakes win here, trained by Alfredo Marquez, who is actually interested in bringing this filly east to run not in the Frazette, but in next weekend's Astorita, going short. Instead has decided to stay in the West Coast. It was obviously a fairly good move on their part to do so. Tally's Lucky Bus Ride completes the 1 mile Grade 1 Oakleaf Stakes in 1:37 and 3. We are going to pause now once more for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at a stakes-packed weekend at Belmont Park. Please stay with us.
Another Breeders' Cup Championship moment. Under a light rainfall at historic Churchill Downs, Super Filly Personal Ensign would retire unbeaten by capturing the Breeders' Cup distaff. Standing in her path was Kentucky Derby champion Winning Colors.
Here comes Personal Ensign, unleashing a furious one on the outside. Winning Colors is there. A dramatic finish, and it is Personal Ensign there.
For undefeated Personal Ensign, this courageous victory was her Breeders' Cup Championship moment.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. Next, it's a stakes-packed weekend at Belmont Park. Getting things kicked off, the Gallant Bloom Handicap, a Grade 2, $125,000 sprint for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Let's head down to Belmont for the call of the Gallant Bloom.
And they're off. Cedar Knolls breaks on top. But that Yuma's Blue is right there with her speed on the inside to be second. Gold Mover and late running Finder's Fee is already 6 lengths from the rest of the field. Up the backstretch. Cedar Knolls takes the fight early to Dat Yuma's Blue. Those two heads apart. And now Dat Yuma's Blue. Dat Yuma's Blue is taking the lead as the field moves into the far turn in front by a length. Cedar Knolls second by another 3. Gold Mover 5 lengths back to Finder's Fee. The opening quarter, 22 1/5 seconds. And the fleet-footed Dat Yuma's Blue is hounded all the way by Cedar Knolls. Gold Mover within striking range is third, and Finder's Fee has made some progress on the turn, drawing within 5 lengths from the lead, and her momentum continues. As the field turns for home, they run a half in 45 seconds flat. Cedar Knolls, Dat Yuma's Blue, Gold Mover, and Finder's Fee. They're all in with a chance here. Cedar Knolls takes over. Cedar Knolls in front. Dat Yuma's Blue taken up there in mid-stretch. Gold Mover and Finder's Fee on the far outside. It is Cedar Knolls in front. She's the longest shot on the board. But here comes Finder's Fee, who's coming with a flying finish. Cedar Knolls, Finder's Fee, here's the wire. Finder's Fee found her way to the wire first by a nostril.
Finder's Fee returning to Belmont and returning to good form. She does love this racetrack, picking up a neck victory here over Cedar Knolls, the longest shot on the board in this field of 4, with Gold Mover coming off of a victory last time out. really looking very hard for some place to run, running nicely between horses, but she did have to change paths several times in the drive. Dat You Miss Blue, the early pace setter in here, did suffer a little bit of interference, or at least a little bit of traffic with Cedar Knolls, but no disqualification was issued. Dat You Miss Blue showed very good speed and faded her connections. Trainer Jimmy Jerkins really did not have any explanation for her 2 consecutive disappointing performances this early this fall. The winner, Finder's Fee, a 4-year-old dark bay or brown filly by Stormcat from Fantastic Find by Mr. Prospector, was bred in Kentucky by the Phipps stable, is owned by the Phipps Racing Stable and trained by Shug McGahee, ridden to victory by John Velasquez. It does appear that her next race will be the First Flight Handicap to be run on Friday, the 26th of October, the day before the Breeders' Cup. That looks like a pretty nice spot for this filly, who certainly does love Belmont Park. Final time for Finder's Fees, 6.5 furlongs of the Gallant Bloom, 1:17.3. More fillies and mares next, this time for the Flower Bowl Invitational Handicap for fillies and mares in Grade 1 company going 1.25 miles on the turf course. Let's head down to Belmont Park for the call of the Flower Bowl.
And they're off. England's Legend breaks alertly from the inside. Babet gets off to a good start, but will allow England's Legend the early lead as they move to the clubhouse turn. Tweedside out there on the far outside, running in third. Leilani settles in at the rail, and she's fourth in the early stages here. Then Starines alongside her. Chase trails the field as England's Legend will dictate the early pace, and she strides away to lead by 3, running the opening quarter in 24 3/5 seconds. England's Legend on top by 3 heading into the backstretch run. Babet sitting off the pace second, and Leilani a ground-saving third, unhurried at this point. She's about 5 lengths from front-running England's Legend. Then Starine, who's running comfortably well in hand in mid-pack. At the back of the pack are Chased and Tweedside. The opening half mile, 48 seconds flat. The pace appears honest enough over the off-going here. England's Legend Nakatani steals a peek back to see that Babet is 5 lengths away here with 5 furlongs to go. Then it's Leilani who continues down toward the inside, and just a nudge there from Jerry Bailey for Leilani. Starine is still about 6 or 7 lengths now from front-running England's Legend, who continues uncontested into the far turn. 3/4 in 1:12.1. England's Legend in front, but now the others are making their moves. Babet is put to a drive. Leilani now 3.5 lengths behind. Starine is just outside her. Farther back Chased. Tweedside far behind now. England's Legend is led throughout. She will arrive at the top of the stretch with a 2.5 length lead. Leilani continues to chase as the field comes off the turn. Then farther back Babet and Starine. 1 furlong to go. England's Legend to be tested by Leilani. England's Legend a neck. Leilani right inside. England's Legend and Leilani. Leilani gets the lead at the 16th pole. England's Legend, followed by Starine. Leilani does it. 7 for 7 this year is Leilani.
Leilani, who has now brought her record up to an amazing 7 for 7 this season. She was making her American debut and got a perfect trip under Jerry Bailey behind the pace setter England's Legend. England's Legend, as is her usual style, opened up and did draw clear. Was not under immediate pressure. I had thought she might face some pressure from Babet. She did not face much in the way of pressure, set a rather leisurely pace, but the ground was a bit on the soft side after rains this week, and perhaps that took its toll as she was caught late in the going by Leilani. It was Starine who was rated along outside, perhaps suffering as well from the lack of early pace here on the softish turf course, rallying into the 3rd spot after a very nice victory up here in Saratoga last out in the Diana. England's Legend, who was last victorious on a boggy turf course out in Arlington Park, has to settle for second as the unbeaten, this season, unbeaten 7 for 7. Leilani ends up getting the victory in very impressive fashion here. Last out victor in the Nassau Stakes, a Grade 1 against older horses in Europe. It appears that she will be kept here in the United States for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf at Belmont Park. The winner here, a 3-year-old daughter of Unfuwain from Leilati by Mr. Prospector, was bred in Great Britain by the Gainsborough Stud Management Company, owned by Maktoum Al Maktoum trained by Edward Dunlap and saddled in absentia, saddled by his assistant William Knight, as Edward Dunlap was not able to make the trip to New York for the race. Ridden to victory by Jerry Bailey, Leilani completes the 1.25 miles on a good racetrack in 2:01 and 4. Turf Classic Invitational is next, $750,000 for the older Turf stars, going long in Grade 1 company. Let's head back down to Belmont for the call of the Turf Classic Invitational.
And they're off. Farthest off the rail, Timberoa. Mutafawake has some early speed down toward the inside with the flow, is reined in early. As they make that long run into the clubhouse turn here, it's Timberoa with a narrow lead. With the flow hard held by old Olivier Deleuze. Right alongside that one, Mutafawake runs along in third, and Ketaweo is just off the pace. He's fourth. And then a break of 5 back to King Kogat and Blazing Fury. Those two will bide their time in the early going here. The first quarter in 24 3/5 seconds, and now they're into the clubhouse turn. Timberoa, the pacemaker, in the early stages here. It is Timberoa in front. Mutafawek offering mild pressure on the outside, second, and with the flow continues to run in hand, a ground-saving third. Ketaweo is rating nicely, fourth on the outside after a half in 50 4/5 seconds. Blazing Fury and King Kugat still remain at their positions at the back of the pack, 4.5 lengths from an easy pace up front. Timberoa and Mutafawake, and now those two are on even terms. Mutafawake on the outside and Timberoa toward the rail, their strides synchronized as they continue the run up the backstretch now. And Jerry Bailey, sensing this slow pace, is beginning to move early with King Kugat. They're advancing on the outside of Ketaweo. Ketaweo third. King Kugat is racing along in fourth with the flow and Blazing Fury, who's taken to the clear on the outside. They've run 3/4 in a tepid 1:16 2. Now they're beginning to pick it up. The field moving for the far turn now. There's just a bit more than 4 furlongs remaining. Timberoa still holds the lead of a half a length. Mutafawake is put to a drive second. King Kogat and Blazing Fury, and those two are together on the far outside. Ketaweo and with the flow. Around the far turn, Timberoa's got plenty left while on the lead. Blazing Fury and King Kugat just in behind as the field makes their way to the top of the stretch. Ketaweo is fourth, and the field turns for home. 2 furlongs left. It is still Timberoa. Timberoa will come to the 8th pole, holding the lead of a length. King Kugat is full out, driving second. Now he's 2 lengths behind Timberoa, who is turning it on in the stretch. King Kugat will be defeated today. Ketaweo is third under the wire. It is Timberoa. And a heads-up ride, wire to wire, by Edgar Prado.
Timberoa getting to the front here. I'm sure that Bobby Frankel was pleased to see a couple of early pace types scratch in here. This is a horse that has had shown a very nice ability to run forward on the racetrack. He does tend to like to be involved in the early going. This time is able to get clear and spurt clear by 3 is King Kugat. Not obviously Jerry Bailey not satisfied with the slow pace, made a little bit of an early move with him. You saw him tugging towards the outside, and he was not able to come to Timberoa, however, who had another gear after setting rather leisurely early fractions. Ketaweo, the horse that had been back and forth away from the racetrack several times, picking up the 3rd spot for the Michael Dickinson connections here, made a nice run after having had some traffic trouble. He was steadied on the 2nd turn. The winner, Timberoa, is a 5-year-old bay son of Sals from Kisumu by Damister, bred in Great Britain. By the Amoring Park stud, he is owned by Edmund Gann and trained by Bobby Frankel, ridden to victory by Edgar Prado. Timberoa completes the 1.5 miles on a turf course labeled good in 2:29 2. We had a pair of New York state-bred 2-year-old races on Sunday's card at Belmont Park, beginning with the Joseph A. Gimme, $75,000 for juvenile fillies going 7. Let's head down to Belmont for the call of the Joseph A. Gimme.
And they're off. She's a stone-cold fox like a shot from the gate. Out quickly for the lead, and What About Us comes up on the inside second. Dancing Blues is now third. Then it's Live Band Between Horses fourth, followed by Storm Dream Racing in fifth. Princess Dixie sixth on the far outside. And then it's Queen of Saratoga, followed by Our Breadwinner. Princess Dixie at the back of the pack, moving up the back stretch now. And it is Stone Cold Fox, the leader by length. Live Band second ahead. Dancing Blues on the inside third. That's Meadow Love 3 wide fourth. Our Breadwinner 4 wide fifth. 3 lengths back. Storm Dream is now sixth, followed by What About Us and Princess Dixie. And dropping to the back of the pack, Queen of Saratoga being eased as they round the far turn. Stone Cold Fox zipped through that quarter in 22 and 2/5 seconds. Got a half in 46 and 2. Stone Cold Fox will arrive. Blues hard on her heel. Live Band is under the whip, running in third. And Princess Dixie continues steady gains while inside fourth. Our Breadwinner laboring on the far outside. But it's Stone Cold Fox who gives them the slip in mid-stretch. Opening up by 5 and pulling away at the 8th pole. Dancing Blues full out second, followed by Princess Dixie, third on the inside, a long way back to the rest of the field. Stone Cold Fox turns it into a runaway. Stone Cold Fox by 15 on the line. Princess Dixie finishing second, and Dancing Blues was third.
She's a Stone Cold Fox, runs her record 4 for 4 with a nice front-end victory, throttled down by John Grabowski, who had nothing to do but hold on tight. She opened up and never looked back, 15 lengths, the official margin of victory. Princess Dixie, who has been chasing this filly all over the place, gets the second spot. I believe she is still a maiden. She ran behind this filly a couple of times in the past, and thus far has had a pretty nice career chasing. She's a Stone Cold Fox. Dancing Blues completes the order of the top 3. After stalking the early pace, she held on fairly nicely as the winner was able to draw away. The winner, she's a Stone Cold Fox, a 2-year-old daughter of Foxhound out of Morgan's Raider by Giboulet, was bred in New York by Dennis Petrazak and Deborah Petrazak, owned by the Lang Pap Stable and trained by Anthony Ferraro, who has indicated that the Maid of the Mist on New York Showcase weekend will be the next stop for this filly. She's apparently had some physical problems involving her throat, but seems to have overcome them quite capably. The final time for the Joseph A. Gimme, run by She's a Stone Cold Fox on a good racetrack, 125 and 3. Finishing up the weekend in New York, the Bertram F. Bongard New York bred 2-year-old colts and geldings going 7 furlongs for $75,000. Let's head back to Belmont for the call of the Bertram F. Bongard.
And they're off. Smokey is a Bandit comes out and stride on the lead, and from the inside, Gotham Limited moves up to be second. White Ibis on the outside third. Catbite fourth, and Seeking the Money comes through on the inside to be fourth now. There goes Never Give In up into fifth. On the far outside, Eye of the Comet and Catbite shuffled back to last, but it's a tight pack that moves up the backstretch. Seeking the Money comes through on the inside of Smokey is a Bandit. Smokey is a Bandit short lead. Seeking the Money on the rail. On the outside, White Ibis. White Ibis now to take it to Smokey as a Bandit. Seeking the Money now back running in third. Gotham Limited is fourth. And they're followed by Never Give In. Followed at the inside by Eye of the Comet. 6 lengths to Catbite. Smokey is a Bandit under intense pressure from White Ibis. Smokey is a Bandit, though, holding on to that lead by a half length. White Ibis alongside, second by another 5. Eye of the Comet is a rallying third. Seek of the Money is a fading fourth. And Gotham Limited is fifth as the field turns for home. White Ibis, Smokey is a Bandit, full out, headlong into the final furlong with Eye of the Comet bearing down on them. White Ibis has the lead. It's White Ibis by a neck. Smokey is a Bandit, battles on, but grudgingly is given way to White Ibis. White Ibis prevails by a length on the line. Smokey is a Bandit, game but second. Eye of the Comet third, a long way back to the rest of them.
White Ibis finally able to beat Smokey as a Bandit. Gets the length and a quarter win after showing good speed. Smokey as a Bandit, the early pace setter, was hustled to the front, showing his usual early lick speed outside from White Ibis, and he was able to draw clear one asked by Robbie Davis. Eye of the Comet, after a stumbling start, makes a 3-wide move into the third spot. The winner, White Ibis, picking up his first stakes win, is a 2-year-old Grey or Roan gelding, a son of Distinctive Pro from Wild Wings by Scarlet Ibis. New York bred by William Garbarini and Michael T. Martin. He is owned by the Quarter Keg Stable, trained by Richard DeStasio, who's just taken over the handling of this colt, and ridden to victory by Robbie Davis. White Ibis completes the 7 furlongs of the Bertram F. Bongard in 125-1. That does wrap up a very busy stakes weekend of racing from around the country. 3 weeks from next weekend, we'll have the Breeders' Cup, so this is really the last of the big Breeders' Cup prep weekends. It should be a very exciting program next week. We do hope you will be able to join us. Thanks, everyone, for watching this week. My name is Jean Wood, and I hope you'll be able to join us again next time.